Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's layout, we are doing a double page spread in my All About Me album. I started this album, I want to say it's going on a year, over a year. When was the date of something? No, so 2 years, because it says February 10th, 2023. So actually, yeah, 2 years today was this story. And then this one was from the Linda Plan, Cut, Create why I scrapbook class. And so then the first one was in here. And don't get me wrong, these are out of order because I think I obviously always just do one and then kind of fill in the holes like we're doing today. So this one, like for instance, is June 26th from 2023. So these are just stories. I know a few of us scrapbookers have one, you know, all about me. So this is my reflection, my point of view, like another story in addition to what is here that I want to save and recognize. So I don't think there's a formal flip through yet of this because I haven't completed it. And so I was going through it the other day and I was noticing that there are some holes, like, you know, when I do a layout here, no, this one was the layout, then there was nothing over here. So I kind of do this. Not all of them are filmed. So I apologize about that too. But this one is filmed on my channel. And so like, and I haven't done the journaling for that. So, you know, it's not perfect, but we're getting there. Anyways, so there is, I'm gonna say a hole, but you know, I did this one is already on my channel and I've lost the weight. So this one's the August 20th, 2024. I'm getting better at stamping. I'm so proud of myself. And then I have a few in the back here for Cocoa Daisy. So these are all back to back to back. So I just thought like in here, I could do another double page layout. And so we're going to use this photo. I just made it black and white. Actually, and it's from Halloween, but I just love that my eyes are kind of closed. It was like a perfect moment. My friend took it and I just love it. So to go with that, I loved this page I found in, I think it's the Remember Story Kit. I want to remember, and it's just like a simple layout, but I wanted to recreate it in bolder colors. It's pretty much where I was at. I was like, I love it. I was like, but bleh, you know, because I already made the photo black and white. So we're going to recreate this sort of format with my Layle By Mail stamp. So this one is the big Poe Alpha. And then this one, it says List Builder, all the things. Because this one says, I want to remember, I want to remember. And I can stamp out things I'd like to remember for each little quadrant here. And then we're going to use the Vicki Boutin Bold and Colorful pad. Because clearly I just want the color part of it. So we're going to make that. And then what I thought too, here it is I also have the camera stamp. And so I want to have like a camera in between each of those for each of my points. So we're going to use like 3 stamps in order to make this bright and colorful because this was just too boring for me. That sounds terrible, but you know, this is why we craft. Like I was like, oh, I like it. I was like, but it's not colorful and I want it to be colorful. I tell you, you know, I guess this is the mind and the heart of a creative soul, you know. I was like, I could do it. I could make it again. Doesn't seem too hard. And I'm going to use this bold, bright paper pad, and that's what it's going to be. So that's what it's going to be. So let's decide on a pattern paper over here. Most likely I will just take some white cardstock in my stash to get these kind of little areas. We'll stamp on them. I want to remember. I'll most likely probably do my journaling handwritten so that I can complete this rather quickly and then stamp out the stamps. You know what I'm thinking too? The cameras can be on some of the, like these solider ones with just black. And that could be cute as even another pop of color because I think it goes into Roy G. Biv. So definitely could. All right. So that's what I'm thinking. So let's get creating. Let's get stamping. And I will leave these 3 stamps. And I think I also have, let me check in my stash. I have the dies for, yes, I do. Haha. I have the dies for the cameras too. So that's even better because I don't have the fussy cut. So that's even better. And so, yeah, I think having it on pattern paper could be good because it'll peek out here and the rest could be black. So that does seem good too. All right, darlings, let's get creative. Okay, my ladies and gentlemen, so let's get creating this more colorful design aesthetic with the Ali Edward paper in like my inspiration. So the photo I had printed already in just black and white. I think I had mentioned that already, just because, believe it or not, this one was from Halloween. And so Valentina's hair was like spray painted blue because she was Evie, and her dress was like this, royal blue color. And I think my t-shirt was orange. Now, don't get me wrong, the colors could have worked, but I think when I was just kind of like, okay, I need to play and make a layout, to be on the safe side, I usually just print in black and white just so that I can use anything and play with any color and everything else. So that's just, a little tip for me. Now, this daisy trim, stop it. I got that at Hobby Lobby. I think it was in the last haul. It's so cute. I can't wait to use it on more layouts. And I'm glad it was at Hobby Lobby because I feel like it was in their normal ribbon selection so that when I finish this one, I could potentially repurchase it, which is always a good find once in a while. And, sometimes when we find these wonderful ribbons and we hoard it because we don't want to use it, but I feel like I can use this one quite freely and be able to repurchase it. So I selected one of the papers from the Vicky Bouton collection that just has these big, bold color stripes on it. I went with that one instead of any of the ones with the, more, not to say crazy designs, but, more active, bold designs on it, just because I also knew I was going to be whiting out a few of it with the journaling areas. And I knew I also wanted to stamp out those little cameras and wanted them to be like a focal element. And when I was kind of putting the cameras on the other pages, I kind of felt like they got lost, and I guess, as a design person on the design team, I know I always kind of stress this. Like, I always like to showcase the brand company's, product in the best light. That's just important to me. That's why I get selected. So I do take that into consideration, even with small design selections like that, like making sure like the cameras pop, not against some busy background. So let me sure I do something that's a little bit more, not to say neutral, but still like colorful and bold, but without bringing the busy background to it. That's just me. That's just me. So I knew I also wanted to stamp out the word motherhood on the photo, but I kind of was already feeling like, should I? Because, stamping on a photo can be kind of stressful. How about we just do it on some vellum, and that way we can just cut it out and then put the vellum on the photo. And I'm so glad that I did it this way. But vellum usually is a good route for me. I think if you've been following me on my Instagram stories too, you know that I use vellum a lot to even have anything kind of stand out better against a background, especially if it gets lost. It just kind of gives a nice hazy, layer between something when you definitely want it to be showcased as well. So this stamp, I love it. It looks like a typewriter stamp, like American typewriter, which I use on my MacBook Pro. So totally in love with that. And I'm auditioning it out because I'm running out of space, and I think I do have to kind of, double have the O's overlap a little bit because it was going to get a little squinched there to have the word motherhood across the bottom. Like, those were just the amount of perfect letters, And so this one's bold and big enough to have bold titles like this, which I love it. So the Poe Alpha, I'll leave it linked down below, also comes in another set that has it like slightly smaller. So I love when brands do that too, like offer, I think Carrie Bradford does the same thing, where you offer a font and then you'll have it in extra large, large, and small or something like that. And then you can get the variety with staying in the same font. I love when brands do that, or able to do that. I say. So I'll always have fun with the Layle By Mail stamps. And honestly, if you've been around for this beginning of the year, I have been on her design team for the year of 2025. And I'm in love. Like, I used to be familiar with her site before. I used to shop. I love her listings. I used to check in for her lives. But now after having her stamps in my collection, they're really so fun to use. Some of my favorites, and a lot of it has to do with my daily journal because I'm able to just grab them a little bit more easily. So if you haven't purchased from her, I definitely, consider it. I'll leave the link for her shop and these stamps that I'm using down below. So now I'm stamping my beautiful cameras. The cameras are great, and they do come with the die set, the metal die set as well. It comes as a bundle if you are interested, or you can just get the camera and then just fussy cut them out. Both are great, and so you can see I went with also like just solid toned colored paper. That way when the die cut does it, because it kind of leaves, it doesn't go to the bleed edge, or how you say it, bleed edge. It gives you a little bit of a border, as most die cuts do. So I was pleased to do them in colors. That way they will pop and be bold on the paper as well. So that worked out really good, and the cameras are great. I think I'm going to leave them out a little bit more too. and go from there. So motherhood definitely took, you see the whole bottom of the paper. So I made sure with my trim not to cover it. So the trim will begin above my stamping of my title, which is okay too. It just had to be done that way. It was a quick alteration for the layout. And it worked out great. I'm adhering the fabric onto photo with the Fabri-Tac glue by Beacon. This glue has quickly become one of my go-tos for pretty much anything, I'll be honest. And even when I am doing things with sequins, this glue is way better than the Nuvo or the Scotch Tacky Quick Dry glue. I am also trying out Reptile glue, I believe it's called right here, and I'm also trying out one that is called, it's the All Glitter something, Art Glitter glue. And so, but yeah, but the Beacon I go to a lot. And so you saw me do the cutting out on the white cardstock. I showed you my corner rounder for the edge, and here I am with the repeat stamping for this says things I want to, and then I'm taking the word remember, and that way the repeat stamping is replicated with the Layle By Mail stamps. And so I love how that worked out really well too. And that's what, you know, Layle does a lot of those list YouTube videos, and I love them, and I have her new idea book, and I just love it. I'm really gravitating towards this way of documenting. It's kind of easy and manageable, I was saying earlier. So here I am with those cameras. Look at that. Love it. Now, I said I would do my journaling with my handwriting. In the end, I decided to still do it on the type, on my computer, and I printed it out on clear matte sticker paper just because once I started writing or typing, I had so much more to say about motherhood. So they are 4 points on things I want to remember. And I think this got started, I think I had mentioned it on Instagram, that my daughter is now just in a booster seat and no longer in like a car seat with the 5-star harness, the whole thing. She's growing, C7, we had her in it as long as possible. And I think that one too just like made my heart quench a little bit. And so just other things like that, like she still kind of wants to sleep with me when she has a nightmare or a bad dream, and just these little moments, because I'm realizing it more and more that she's growing up way too fast and way faster than I'm comfortable to admit with. Okay, that will wrap up this layout. Look how fun and vibrant and colorful it turned out. All the stamping is perfect, and finishing off with the clear sticker paper fits perfectly on there with all that repeat stamping, the fun cameras, stamping for motherhood, and then the little trim. Love it, love it. So this will now go into my All About Me album, and it's a great story to hold on to. Thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. I will leave the links to everything that I used down below for this project. And until next time, everyone, bye!